What's happening in Belleville? What are you doing concretely to help with this extraordinary declaration of an emergency in Belleville?
I spoke with Mayor Neil Ellis this morning about the situation. We have seen a rise in opioid deaths and toxic drug supply deaths right across the country.
There was apparently up to 20 overdoses since Tuesday.
That's crazy.
Do you think housing will help fix this problem?
Oh, it's much deeper than that. I can't comment on that one.
Help these people. I don't know how. We got to figure it out. There has to be some sort of way that we can truly get down and help these people instead of doing nothing and waiting to clean up the aftermath.
Mary Ugolini for Rebel News. Here in Belleville, Ontario, we're about 2 hours east of Toronto along the 401 corridor, in a city of roughly 55,000 residents who's just declared a state of emergency following a string of 14 overdoses in a 1 hour time span on Tuesday, the middle of the afternoon. You can see behind me here, this is the street here, Bridge Street East, where the string of overdoses took place. And there appears to be perhaps another casualty in the opioid crisis that is plaguing cities and towns all across the country, which local residents say began about 5 years ago. And funny they mention that because the harm and chaos has only come about after the federal government, led by the Justin Trudeau Liberals, implemented the Canadian Drug and Substances Use Strategy in 2017. It was meant to save lives and minimize substance use related harms for not only the people who use drugs and alcohol, but also for their families and communities. Yet in a 2023 evaluation update report, the strategy failed to accomplish anything, had no tangible benefit, and instead, I quote, "the rates of substance use and related harm continues to rise," end quote. Provincial data shows that this strategy has only worked to double the opioid and stimulant related deaths. In Ontario, there were 1,324 opioid and stimulant related deaths for the first half of 2023 from January to June. That was up from 867 deaths in 2016, a year before the CDSS came into effect, a number that nearly doubled to 1,265 in the year following the implementation of this purported harm reduction safe supply strategy. So naturally, the feds recommitted to this strategy in December of 2023 and increased the funding to a grand total of $1 billion of squandered taxpayer monies, something Trudeau now says is part of his toolbox.
Speaker, the toxic drug and overdose crisis continues to take a tragic toll on families, loved ones, and communities. We're using every tool at our disposal to work with our partners to end this national public health crisis. Since 2017, we've committed to more than $1 billion to address the overdose crisis, and we're taking concrete steps to divert people who use drugs away from the criminal justice system. The evidence is clear. Harm reduction measures save lives. Some 46,000 overdoses have been reversed since 2017. We will continue to trust the science.
The overdoses began on Tuesday afternoon around 3 o'clock along Bridge Street East. You can see the church behind me here, Bridge Street East United Church. It offers food, showers, and laundry service for homeless. It's run by the John Howard Society of Belleville. And this recent string of overdoses follows months of the same in this region. On Tuesday afternoon, it prompted police to close this street completely because people were just dropping like flies. Since that time, it's been reported that there have been upwards of 23 overdoses in the last 2 days. This has resulted in Mayor Neil Ellis declaring a state of emergency here in Belleville in hopes of securing additional funding to somehow address and deal with this ongoing crisis that is happening all across Canada. Officials say that this particular strain could be tied to a certain elephant tranquilizer that's made its way into the drug supply. It's an increasingly powerful drug called xylazine. And we're waiting to hear if there will be any testing to confirm or deny its presence in this drug supply, and if that is why this particular supply has been more toxic than others. We're here on the streets of Belleville to talk to the local residents, see how they're feeling about this, what they think of this declared state of emergency. Stay tuned. What do you think about your mayor just declared the state of emergency about the overdose crisis?
No, that is something that they should look for. Like, no, that is not right.
It's scary because you're just going for a walk and it's so random. I've never seen this. I've been here for a year, and I don't know, it's just shocking.
Well, it is obviously a form of emergency, but But to be honest with you, the safeguards that they have in place for them, I don't know how much it's going to help. Like, what is this state of emergency? What is it going to help at the end of the day? Like, they're not doing anything other than hauling them away in stretchers and leaving them on the side of the road.
What they should do is, there's a beer store down here off of Station Street. Why don't they use that for a shelter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And get them off the street.
You know, it's a serious thing, that's for sure. But it goes way back, you know.
And Paul has a
it's-
business right here, right?
This
Yeah.
is me, so.
How are you affected by all of this, your business?
Well, I'll let you answer that question. How do you think I get affected by it?
I imagine it's not very lucrative for your business.
It's not lucrative for anybody when this happens, so it's unfortunate, but it's much deeper than me having an answer for that.
What do you think the solution is? Is it more things like that, harm reduction, safe supply, or treatment?
I would
A
say
little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Like
Yeah.
safe supply would be better option here because they're gonna do it regardless. Might as well give them a safer drug, you know.
Well, they definitely need the treatment. That's probably going to be the best thing for them. But it seems like they're more of just a talking point than an actual thing to work on, which is sad.
There was apparently up to 20 overdoses since Tuesday.
That's crazy.
Do you think housing will help fix this problem?
Oh, it's much deeper than that. I can't comment on that one.
Like, I've lived in Belleville my whole life, and we've always had drugs and homeless here, but recently it's becoming a lot worse. As you can see, it seems like these people really have no help for it, and it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, these people need help. They're not getting it, and the help they're getting is an ambulance ride.
There's a multi-pronged approach. One being we have to go after the source. We have to go after the drug dealers that are putting the fentanyl in opioids, and it's killing people. So we're working hand in hand with the Minister of Mental Health and Addiction. We've put over $3.8 billion in.
When drug dealers are arrested and then released and arrested and released, that's the problem. We need to enforce the laws. We need new laws. Like they've been slackened over the last few years, I think, under the current federal government, and they need to be toughened. And there needs to be like some kind of a 3 strikes you're out rule. We need to toughen up on it, and until that's done, they just keep getting released. They come back the next day, they sell the same bad drugs to these people, and they end up in the hospital.
45 years. See, that's how long I've been here. And when you see 2 fire trucks, 3 ambulances, 2 police cars, 5 overdoses.
They were happening right in front of his business here on Tuesday.
So, and it usually happens the day off or the day after or a few days after they get their money. You know, when did it start? Probably about, if I want to be as accurate as I can, maybe 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And yeah, COVID may have been part of it. But I think it's deeper than that because, you know, I used to have a business in Toronto. I had to deal with speed freaks, we would call them in those days. So, but this is rampant now. This is too much of handouts.
We believe that, again, as it was said by Minister Sachs, mental health is health, and we need to provide and create the supports necessary to help people and meet them where they are and help them to regain control of their lives.
Do you have a message for your mayor or anyone, any other politician who could maybe take some actual steps to address this crisis?
Help these people. I don't know how. We got to figure it out. There has to be some sort of way that we can truly get down and help these people instead of doing nothing and waiting to clean up the aftermath. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm not a politician. I'm a line cook by trade. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have government details in my brain, but like, there's got to be something we can do instead of just idly standing by.
And perpetuating the harm, it seems.
Yeah. Well, and then everybody's mad at the homeless for being there, but nobody's mad for nobody taking the steps to help these people in the situations they're in. Right. So everybody seems like they hate the homeless, but when really we hate the inactivity behind what's going on with them. There's no push to actually help them, it seems.
Well, that's a wrap here in Belleville, Ontario, and I suppose only time will tell if the declared state of emergency in what is supposed to be able to open up access to increased funding from the provincial and federal governments will help to fix this ongoing opioid crisis. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. Canadian cities and towns are in various states of decay, disarray, and chaos as drug use and crime proliferate. If you'd like to see our reports on this topic, head on over to fixourcities.com. There you can sign our petition and also support our work if you value what we do here on the streets. That's